Hello and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. What is the Clint Initiative? The Clint Initiative is a multi-phase project to create entertainment here in Minnesota and to distribute that entertainment to the world, starting with this podcast. This podcast is the seed from which everything else will grow. The Clint Initiative is about great music. The Clint Initiative is about great live entertainment. The Clint Initiative is about a sketch show. The Clint Initiative is all about film content. If you want to know how to do a podcast, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to do an album, how to find musicians, how to get it recorded, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to create more content over a short period of time, you're listening to the Clint Initiative and we will help you get there. If you are ready to create, if you're ready to talk about creating, if you're ready to be about it and get it done, we want to talk to you. This is the Clint Initiative. My name is Paul and my co-hosts are Katie, Clint, and Jamel. We are the Clint Initiative. If you are interested in creating content, if you're interested in creating movies, music, television, films, short films, and feature films, then we want to talk to you. We want to have you on the show. Email us at TheClintPodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And now, back to the show. We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working. Give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. What are we doing? We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall to see what's stick. Come on, what are we doing? Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, a ver que se pega. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. Here we are in week 18, and right now it's me and Katie, but we're waiting for Clint to arrive. But Jamel has already said that he would not be able to be here today, and we are going to miss his presence, but he decided he wanted to give us a present. So before anything else, I want to go ahead and show something that Jamel sent, sort of outlining what his day is going to be like. All right, so welcome, Clint. I'm glad you could join us today.
I'm glad I could join you guys too.
So, were you able to see Jamel's jam short that I just played?
It's very short. I just got in, so I'm not sure how long it was running before. What time is it now? Yeah.
It was just a short thing that's showing what he's doing with his day. So I thought I'd package it and go ahead and throw it up there. He sent that to me this morning, so I thought I'd go ahead and throw it up there. But what we're going to do first, I want to do a little housekeeping and sort of let everyone out there know that we reached a turning point, and this turning point is amazing for the show. And we started the show last year in July, and now the show is available wherever you listen to podcasts. So that means millions now have access to the show, not just on Facebook, YouTube, and
Audience,
Instagram.
great.
Soon, we will also be on Roku and Fire TV. So big things are happening with the show, and everything is moving in the right direction. And like I said, just for a little bit of housekeeping, I want to let our regulars and the people who watch the show know that I monitor and respond to all comments on every video. And with us having close to 300 videos, that's a lot of checking to do. So when people make comments, I want to let them know, yes, I will respond. Yes, I will follow up. And yes, in some cases, I will delete. And
Were there any that you deleted?
there was one that I deleted, and being as I deleted it, it's not worthy of on-air discussion. It's worthy of
Oh,
off-air discussion. But what I wanted to do now, unless you guys had anything to add to that, I wanted to move to our co-host check-in. Every day I just like to check with our co-hosts to see how everything's going, to see how life is treating them, and to see when they're going to be able to come by our new office. So first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check in with Katie.
Hi, everybody. Buenas, buenas. I'm doing great. Alive another day. Get to share the Thursday moments with you guys. So everything is good so far. It's great.
Absolutely fantastic. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Clint. Clint, how's life treating you, man?
I just want to say God is good. I'm blessed, highly favored, and I want to thank you all for having me in your home and welcoming us with open arms. Let the energy be free. I don't have my cup of tea, but I'm just being me.
Okay.
Mhm.
And with Jamel out, that creates an opportunity for our guest today to hang out with us for a little bit longer. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but it's time for us to check in with Jasmine. Jasmine, well,
Yes, man.
how are you doing today? Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience and our co-hosts. Well, we can't hear you, Jasmine. You may want to turn the sound on.
How y'all doing today?
We're doing
Hi.
fantastic.
Hey, great.
I'm trying to see y'all. My camera is just looking so weird.
Okay, those are the technical difficulties that happen when you're live, and it's something that's sort of unavoidable. You can't help it. So, Jasmine is here today to be a part of the show, and with the Clinton Initiative podcast, we don't do auditions. All we do is we have folks show up on the show, and that is their audition. And with her dealing, and with her um, looking into her camera settings and everything, I wanted to remind folks of one thing once I can find it on my computer screen. There you go.
Don't cost you nothing to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Come on. Come on. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe, subscribe, don't cost you nothing. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So just hit that like and subscribe. Okay, so the show will go on. And the next part of the show is always our random questions. And with our random questions and our audience expanding, I'm going to say it right now. I hope you're ready, Clint. I hope you're ready, Katie, because I'm tired of always coming up with the questions, okay? I'm tired. So it's time for you, the co host, and our audience to come up with the questions. If our audience and our co-hosts can come up with the questions, I think that's going to make things a lot more interesting. So our audience can email us at TheClintPodcast@gmail.com. And our co-hosts, they know how to get in contact with me, so they can just reach out and let me know a random question that they would like to ask this week. And we already have a visitor today with us, Alpha Romeo, aka Shy Girl. Good afternoon, Clint and friends.
Hey.
So yes, we do have our regulars watching, and Jasmine dropped off, but I'm pretty sure she'll be back. But the show must go on. So our random question is: I always have two. The first one is, and Shy Girl, you can answer this question as well. What do you think that we can do to offer more value to our audience? I already know what I think that is, but I wanted to ask our audience, and I wanted to ask you, my co-host, what do you think we can do to offer more value on this podcast to our audience? That's my first question. The second question is, have you ever had something happen, or you've done something in life and then you said, "Whew, well, that's the last time I'll do that." So that is my two random questions, and you guys get to choose from those two random questions. So who would like to go first with their answer?
Clint just looked up. I
Clint, you want me to go first? I
I didn't
can't go
say anything.
first.
I just look up. Yeah.
oh my god.
Would you like to take center stage, or did you want me to answer, Katie?
I mean I can answer both of them if you want.
Well, okay, go for it. School
Um,
us on how we can make the show better.
I think just us continuing to be like consistent with uploading content all the time and more daily shorts, and then being more interactive with the comments like you are, and also maybe some recognition. Like if the top fans that is consistently on every time watching us, let them know that we do see them and we appreciate them being so consistent. And um, something that I would never do again. Um, yeah, I don't. For personal, I think something that I would never do again is the Brazilian wax. That my soul left my body a little bit when
Whoa.
I could not. I was like, nah, I'll just stick to shaving. There's shaving cream, all kinds of stuff, but Brazilian wax, yeah, I don't know about that. Nothing.
Well, that was definitely a Spanish moment. Brazilian wax. Wow. So, Clint, are you ready to talk about your Brazilian wax, or you want to talk about how you can
I
make the
I
show better?
born naturally wax. You see, Miss Whole Body is wax naturally born that way. I don't need it.
The amazing hairless Clint, huh?
I'm totally hairless, so never have a
So, which
problem with
question would you
hair.
like to
So
answer today?
okay, something that I'll never do again. I'll answer that one first. Is ignoring my inner voice,
Ah,
ignoring it. Because let's say for example, sometimes like I have like a sort of like a sixth sense that sometimes I could read people and I could then my inner voice will tell me that is the type of person you don't trust them, be careful, be aware. We more call it a spirit of discernment. So many times I will like ignore it and say, no, I'm going to give the person the benefit of a doubt. I'm going to give them a benefit of maybe it's just me. I'm judging the person. And I'm going to ignore my inner voice. And I'm going to get close to that person, try to be their friend and, try not to judge them too quickly. And in the end, that person ended up backstabbing me, turned out to be everything what my inner voice told me that they were.
Mm,
And so I always listen to my inner voice, inner self, try not to ignore it. And that's something I stop doubting myself that, don't get too close and too attached to people that early. So that is something that I would never do again. I learned that
mm.
the hard way many times, many, many, many times. And what was the other question again?
What can we do, Clint, to make the show better? I know the Trinidad Takeover is a runaway hit, and every time we show it, it makes the show better. But what else can we do to make the show better, Clint?
Get strippers.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know
uh,
what, Clint? You know what, Clint? For a second there, I thought you could say that the way we can make the show better was to immediately put poolside conversations into production.
on, on a serious note, yes. What could make the show even more interested to take it to a higher level? We could have like more interesting clips like the poolside conversation. We could do that. Short clips, short skits. We could interview that within the segment of the show because I realize, as you said before, people really taking in to because I read the comments, I read the feedback, I get feedback from people concerning the Trinidad takeover and all that, and I don't want to take over the show. I would like everyone to get the opportunity to shine and so on to showcase their talents. So I think in a way that we could showcase our talents more, we could come up together, do little individual short skits like poolside conversation. We could do that with a start. Start with
Yeah,
that.
and now that we have our own space, I was telling Katie earlier, Clint, that I already have the computer and camera, 4K camera, and lighting, and everything ready for our new space. So we will actually be able to do our weekly podcast in our own space.
Nice.
And one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to, our new space has props, and we get access to all of those props by being a tenant in the building with props. Metropolis, they do art direction, props, set decoration, art, all kinds of decor. So I want to give them a shout out because without them, we would not have our space that we're going to have where we will be able to do our show live and in person versus just being live.
yeah.
So now what I wanted to do was, do you guys have anything to add to that? Or no, I guess not. So just going in order and stalling for time in the hope that Jasmine will come back. I wanted to go over our origin story. In 2023, I arrived in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I was transferred here by my job, and that's something that many people can actually see the whole backstory in a magazine article that is in Voyage Minnesota magazine. So if people want to see and know more about our origin story, Conversations with Paul Barnes in Voyage Minnesota magazine. That's voyageminnesota.com. They can actually see the article that talks all about my journey to Minnesota. But in addition to working security as a manager, I also would drive around doing DoorDash and I would listen to Minnesota Public Radio. And by listening to Minnesota Public Radio, I listened to J.D. Still, who is the director for the Mill City Singers. They're a professional choir where you don't have to audition. You just have to show up and you can be a part of the choir. But in addition to a choir, they also do a lot of community events and they're involved in the community. And in any of the endeavors I do, I've always endeavored to be a part of the community. So that inspired me. Not only did it inspire me to create the Clinic Initiative podcast, which we did in July 20th of 2023, but we recently celebrated 1 year. I was able to come in contact with two talented people, Clint and Jamel, and then later Katie. And here we are. We have our show, the Clint Initiative podcast. And our goal is to give people the opportunity to be a part of what we do. Just like Jasmine was here earlier, all you have to do is show up and you can be a part of our show and part of our productions. And with us having so many productions that we do, it gives us an opportunity to tailor a person, a role to a person so that they're always giving their best, even without an audition. And with that being said, and tooting my own horn just a little, I'm on with the show. But before I do that, did you guys have anything to add to that? Or
Mm,
did you guys have anything to add to that? Or are we good?
I'm good.
yeah, we good. I think.
Jolanta is saying that the audio is very windy. And the only person outside is
It's
you,
me. Okay,
Clint.
I'm gonna mute my audience. Let's see if the song still's coming in.
I was
Not
gonna
a
say it
problem.
might be mine too.
Not a problem at all. So I guess I'm the only one with the quiet audio, but once we get into our space,
It's
it's
Katie's.
it's gonna be it's gonna be fantastic. And
I
you know
just
what,
muted
Clint?
mine.
Oh, I got it. It's the AC. Hold on. All right, there you go.
Jolanta,
It's not mine. I just muted mine. I still were hearing the song.
All right, so let me know if it stopped now. I turned it
It
off.
stops.
Okay,
look,
perfect.
it looks like you're taking over the show, man. Alpha Romeo Shy Girl is saying, you don't need more Trinidad takeover segments. What's more?
I I think the fact is that these short clips, they're entertaining and they're looking for more like that. Not just because it's Trinidad Takeover. We could do some more entertaining short clips. Trinidad
Mm,
Takeover is just one of it.
And Jolanta is saying happy anniversary. Thank you very much, Jolanta. It's great that you're checking in on us again today. And that's my plan for the show is to have more produced content and to have more things on the show that really give us an opportunity to show what we can do, to spread our wings and fly. And one thing I say from time to time is all about opportunity and the possibilities. And with us now being exposed potentially to millions of people online through Spotify, through iHeartRadio, for us being exposed to millions of people, it gives us just more opportunities to showcase what we do. And we already have another Trinidad Takeover coming up. After
Oh,
we do our Bible bracket, we will have another episode of Katie's Spanish flavor. So I hope folks are ready for that. I've also been working with Jamel on several episodes of Jamel's Jam. We had a short earlier today, and that's going to be up online. And now, here we are with one of my favorite parts of the show. We're coming up to the Clint Initiative podcast Bible bracket. And I want to give folks a little idea of what that Bible bracket
What
is
is a
all.
show Bible? A show Bible is a document that outlines the characters, plots, settings, and themes of a television series. Writers pitch show Bibles to network executives and production companies in the hopes that it will produce a production agreement. Well, with the Clint Initiative podcast, we do streaming content, we do movies, we do music. So,
For our productions, we have a Bible, and that Bible will be previewed here on the show.
Okay, so you see we have our bracket up there, and we also have another comment from Jolanta. She's in the running to be the top fan already, Katie. She said, I invited my community from the Chatter app. That is
Good
Mhm.
going,
fantastic,
Joe.
Jolanta. Thank you so much.
Good going, Joe.
Yeah, it just gives us an opportunity to show more people what we can do. And now we have our Bible bracket for this week. Our two competing ideas, as it were, or films. The first is Shelter in Place. You know, the unknown can be very scary. And sometimes when events happen, you get a shelter in place warning. So wherever you are, wherever you find yourself, you have to shelter in place. And when you do that and you shelter in place, you discover who you're sheltering in place with. But the unknown is the scariest thing because you don't know what you're sheltering in place for until you know. And that's what shelter in place is all about. It's about the experience of a group of people forced to shelter in place, and then they discover things about themselves and things about the people that they're sheltering in place with. And that's what shelter in place is all about. With our society today and the way things are happening, you never know when you might have to shelter in place. And that's what that's all about. The next one. What child is this who lay me down upon? What child is this?
And we know we're not talking about Jesus Christ.
We're not talking about Jesus, but we are talking about,
That sounded like something creepy.
but we are talking about, well, it is a little creepy because with what child is this? When people go to the hospital to have a child, you never know whether they gave you your child or not.
Oh
So,
no.
this is a story of a family who goes home with a child that is not theirs and what they go through and their reaction when they find out that the child that they have is not theirs. That is a heavy situation
I
for
already make
any.
my pick already.
That is a heavy, heavy situation for anyone. So both of these are very heavy things today. But like anything else, I presented them. Now we want to discuss them. So I'm going to come to each of you guys and I want to have you talk about the two ideas. And then using our rating system, we're going to say whether it sticks, whether it needs more work, or whether we can forget about it. I always try to come up with strong ideas every week. And just like with the random questions, I'm opening it up to my co-host and I'm opening up it to the audience. If they want to come up with ideas for us to explore, go ahead and submit it. If they want to come up with things for us to consider, go ahead and submit it. Our email address is TheClintPodcast@gmail.com. I'm waiting to see what your ideas are. I always have ideas and things I come up with. Just like this week, we've got our shelter in place and what child is this. But I'm going to go to Katie first because it's ladies first. So, Katie, when you think about shelter in place and what child is this, what are your thoughts?
um I think the one that gets my attention the most is the child in place. Eso se pegó bien. It just sounds so interesting. It just to like imagine what the family will go through, especially like when they already are developing some love and then it's not your kid. So it's it would be interesting, but I also don't want to forget about the shelter in place. I think that could be very interesting and like very complex. Just the child just kind of caught my interest first.
Yeah, and when you think about shelter in place, as a production company without a lot of budget, shelter in place can be done on a shoestring and the impact can be tremendous. But what
Yeah.
child is this is also the same. What child is this can be done on a shoestring budget as well, and the impact can be more than tremendous. So, Trent, I mean, Clement, hopefully I made it more hopefully I made it more complicated for you, but this is our discussion period. So what do you think of the two ideas?
The one that sticks to me the most is what child is this? That one sticks. The other one, what's the name of it again? Shelter in place.
Shelter in place.
Yeah, it's we could work on that one, but the one that got my imagination going is what child is this?
What
It,
child is this?
yeah,
Absolutely.
it
You bring
sort of like bring back memories of a old sort of like a sci-fi horror that I look at called I think it's The Village of the Dam, when they brought home their kids and there was something weird with the children and it
Oh,
was there's
yeah,
something
so
kind of supernatural weird.
yeah, so that's the amazing thing, that with this show we can actually go in either direction. But the one thing I love about what child is this is that it allows us to show that some kids are just so darn lovable. You don't want to let them go. You know, it's like when a baby bird is born and that mother bird or that child imprints on that parent so they always know how to find it. Some kids, they just have a way of imprinting on adults, and you just don't want to let them go. You will always be a part of their life, even if you're not their parent. You'll always be a part of their life. And then there's always the supernatural part. So we have so many different directions that we can go with this.
But when I
So
hear what child is this, it didn't sound like sweet. Oh, like what child? It's all like, what child is this? That's what it sounds like. What child is? That's not my child. What? I didn't get the sweet side. I get like, what child is this? That definitely ain't my child. I didn't get that sweetness. Mm-mm.
So there's Jolanta. Yeah, Jolanta, we don't have Jamel today, but before the show ends, I'm going to play again the short that he sent us, so that he could be a part of what we're doing, and that was fantastic of him to do that. The amazing thing is, I didn't even have to ask him. So now what I'm going to do is before I announce the winner this week, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show all of our previous winners. And for the people who are just listening, you want to go to our YouTube channel and check it out and see what we have coming up on the show and in movie theaters soon. Okay, those were our previous winners. And our winner today is What Child Is This? But in order to add a little bit of surprise, the winner is also Shelter in Place. Shelter in Place. And What Child Is This? The more I thought about it from talking with you guys, we can do Shelter in Place over a weekend. We can make Shelter in Place happen over a weekend. We can film all the different possibilities, and we can film it all in a single weekend. And we already have our stars. We already have Jamel. We already have Katie. We already have Clint. We already have me. We already have Jolanta. We already have Jasmine. We already have Dante. We already have people that we can call on, so we can do Shelter in Place in a weekend in our sleep. So before we go on with the show, and before we go to Katie's Spanish flavor, Clint, Jolanta said, let's talk about the State Fair show. What State Fair show is this, Clint?
That's the one that we did, the Carrie Festa. Oh, the
The
State
Carrie
Fair
Fest.
show. Oh my God! I'm mixing up Carrie Festa from the takeover. What I did with the State Fair. We have a great show coming up. I'm gonna be modeling in the State Fair show. I'm gonna be doing some of fashion, wearing some outfit from a designer by the name of Jolanda. What's her name again? I'm gonna be. My mind just went. I get a bit of like brain fog there. I'm gonna be doing her. I'm gonna be doing wearing her out her designs, and Jolanta mom, she did some of the carnival designs. So I'm gonna be doing some of those fashion. I think Jamel's supposed to be that show also, if I'm not mistaken.
I think
That's
he
for the
is, and I
State
think
Fair. That's gonna be over. That's gonna be on the 24th and 25th. No, 25th and
and I think I'd
26th.
already discussed being there as well. So I've never been to the State Fair,
Yeah,
as you know.
correction. I now remember the designer name. Her name is Gogo. She designed some beautiful outfit. I interviewed her during the Curry Fest over the weekend and so on. So sorry for forgetting your name, Gogo. I'm going to be wearing her designs also.
Okay, so now it's time for a little bit of Katie's Spanish flavor. Enjoy.
Era bonito, porque hasta el cielo vuelve
And like anything else, guys,
la
we
niebla
get the
fue un
comment.
ratito, nadie puede apagar.
We get the comment.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
There you go. Now you stay calm, Clint.
Hi, it's your girl Katie from the Clint Initiative Podcast, and here I'm with somebody very special. Estamos aquí hoy con alguien bien especial, trayéndote el sabor latino que te hace falta. A ver, comenzamos. ¿Qué exactamente es lo que haces y cómo te llamas?
Ok, hola, mi nombre es Leticia de Gante, por de Gante Couture, me pueden buscar. Y pues diseñamos ropa. Tenemos aquí este outfit, esta hermosa modelo que tenemos por aquí. Es un estilo... tenemos este hermoso outfit que está hecho en imitación piel. Todo es preparado, todo preparamos. Esta parte de acá es una parte que me encanta, con la falda campana. Es un estilo casual, pero de igual manera alta costura. Me gusta mucho incluir alta costura. También tenemos aquí otro outfit.
Not paying attention.
Tenemos aquí otro. Ahorita estamos utilizando mucho, o estoy utilizando yo. No me gusta poner moda, simplemente me gusta vestirlas. Cada una de ellas lo viste diferente y es algo que a mí me encanta, que es una falda también con tablones y con un crop top, que es algo que me encanta, ¿verdad? Y revolucionar todo, pues es lo que traemos y es lo que hago.
¿Y haces todo a mano?
Todo. Yo hago
Wow.
todo. Yo corto, coso, trazo, imagino.
Oh.
Así las visualicé.
¿Y cuánto dura más o menos?
Bueno, estuve trabajando con este outfit que fue completo, el pantalón y la blusita. Y esta blusa estuve haciéndolo por 4 días.
Wow.
Todo completo.
Wow. ¿Y cuánto tiempo haces haciendo ropa?
Llevo ya 5 años. Estoy para cumplir 5 años con esto.
Oh my God. ¿Y dónde exactamente podemos comprar tu mercancía?
Por ahora solamente estoy trabajando como por pedido, ¿verdad? O en los desfiles de moda, que es donde más me encuentro más en los desfiles de moda.
Okay.
Y pues por ahorita estamos así, estamos empezando pues para seguir más adelante.
Wow. Bueno, ya lo tienes, aquí estamos. Si quieres, lo compras. Sí. También tienes Instagram, ¿verdad?
Sí.
¿Y el nombre de Instagram? Sí.
Ok, en Instagram estoy como Degante Couture o Leticia Degante. Facebook también, lo mismo, Degante Couture y Leticia Degante, sorry. Y también en TikTok estoy también como Leticia Degante. Todo es Degante Couture o Leticia Degante, pues para que sea fácil.
Perfecto. Ya. Gracias por tu tiempo.
Claro
Nos
que
puedes
sí.
encontrar. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Okay, and this is the show where
Oh,
Jamel and I actually got to meet Katie for the first time, really. And the one thing that Shy Girl is suggesting is that we have subtitles. Once we upload this onto YouTube, you will be able to turn the subtitles on to see what they're saying. So although when we do it live, we can't have the subtitles, when we upload it on YouTube, you will be able to use the subtitles in YouTube. What do you think, Clint?
I'm loving it.
them heels was high.
You work it, girl. You work it, girl. What?
Those stairs had like the biggest fear.
My body was in too much pain to come out that evening from since I had done the Trinidad takeover for the Curry Fest. I was like so dog in pain.
Well, you can see what you missed.
I
Shy
was
Girl
going
is
to
saying,
be
love that
there
look,
to
Katie.
Thank you. Yeah, she designs pretty nice clothes. Yeah.
You what you missed, Clint?
Porque mañana será bonito. Hasta el cielo vuelve azulito. Que la niebla fue un ratito. Nadie puede apagar tu.
Okay, and that was Katie's Spanish Flavor. And I hope that our audience loves that on YouTube, because I think it definitely adds a lot to the show. With Clint, we've got the food. And then with Katie, we have the fashion. And then with Jamel, we have, let me see if I still have that here. Let me see if I can load that up again. With Jamel, we just have all the different things. Say again.
But let me correct I'm not just dealing with food. I'm dealing with our culture as well. Not just food, culture.
Really?
Yes.
Well, most of what you've been showing about the culture has been food, or am I wrong?
You're going to find out more. Consider my other Trinidad takeover videos. I deal also with our culture as well, Caribbean culture.
Well, you know what, man? I stand corrected. And then, of course, with Jamel, we always have this. Since you didn't see it the first time. Short. Since he can't be here today, he's here in spirit.
I saw that all the time. I thought it was longer than that when I said. Apparently I didn't miss. I thought it was going on when I came in, but I saw all of that.
So, Clint.
Oh, he's gone. Oh, there he is.
I removed the wrong thing. I meant to remove that short, and I removed Clint instead. I guess it's subliminal. So, Clint, how are you at building paper planes?
Pardon?
How are you at building paper planes?
Not good.
How are you at building paper planes there, Katie?
No, I don't know how to do this at all. I have no idea.
Well,
I can't even make a kite fly, so much less for a paper plane.
Well, I'm sort of basic when it comes to my paper plane skills, but when it comes to my skill in doing other things, I think that probably has a little bit, it's a little better. So in terms of creating content, this is where we shine. A moment from the sketch show is what we would do in this time. And I want to talk about the moments we have in production. We have several in production in addition to Shelter in Place. We've got Zoom Therapy, Part 1, Therapist with the Tattoo. We finally will be able to do that now that we have our own space. Then we have Poolside Conversations, Conversations Too Hot for Indoors. And we have Blended Family, Part 1, Father and Son. Blended families is a very challenging thing these days. And then, of course, Improv Powers Activate. Stay tuned for all of this and so much more when we are able to actually have our moment from the sketch show. And now what I want to do is I want to give a quick music update. Did you guys have anything to add to our moment from the sketch show preview there, or are we good?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so here is our the Clint Initiative podcast music update. Now that we have our own space, you can expect that I already am in touch with 2 producers, and you can expect over the coming weeks, not months, over the coming weeks, you can expect our theme song to have music. You can expect for us to introduce more of the music from our upcoming EP, and that EP is what we will use for fundraising as well as everything else we do. But as I said, I've already been in touch with 2 producers, and we will start to work on the music for our show. So that's a big update that I didn't even let you guys know about until now, but it is coming up. And until then, It's just an a cappella story. That's all it is right now. It's just an a cappella story. Please like, comment, and share our show. And in addition to liking, commenting, and sharing the show, this is where I want to talk about our founders and our inner circle. And I want to talk about all the different ways that you can support us. Because right now, my company, Cycle 4 Films, it foots the bill for all of this. And I'm happy to do it. And Cycle 4 Films will do it until the show starts to sustain itself. And for that, we have our Patreon initiative, where it's patreon.com/TheClintInitiative. Check us out there. The Patreon initiative is great because it gives us a monthly source of income. And with that monthly source of income, when we come up with ideas like Shelter in Place, when we come up with ideas like What Child Is This, we can immediately put it in production. I can cut it, and we can present it to our Patreon members first. Our founders in our inner circle will always get access to what we do first and always be able to give us suggestions on how to make everything we do better. Then we have our KOFI Initiative. Let's say a moment on the show just hits you and you say, wow, well done. Let me give you a tip. That's our KOFI Initiative, which is ko-fi.com/TheClintInitiative Podcast. Go to Coffee and you can give us a little tip, and we would appreciate any help that you can give us. That's ko-fi.com/TheClintInitiative Podcast. And then, of course, GoFundMe. It's not just for those medical bills. GoFundMe is also a way that you can support the Clint Initiative Podcast. With us having our own space now and not monthly cost, of course, the cost for our platform here in StreamYard to give you the content, it would be great if you see it in your heart to support us. As you can see, I learned so much from Minnesota Public Radio about how to ask people to help support what we do. And like I've told Clint many a time and Jamel many a time, and now I'm telling you, Katie, I think that if we put content out there and if we're constantly available and improving what we do, I believe that our audience will in fact support it. And I am actually putting my money where my mouth is on that, and I'm waiting for our audience to step up. And so far, we do have people who have already stepped up and helped us out. And I'd like to see if we can add more people to our founders that we have right now, to Devin and Joe. We have Joe and we have Devin. They are our original founders and certainly part of our inner circle. So what I want to ask you guys and what I want to ask our audience today, have you had a good time? Has this been enjoyable? Have you had a good time, Clint?
When?
Has this been enjoyable?
When? No?
Show, of course. If the show has been enjoyable and you've had a good time.
Yes. I enjoyed the Spanish takeover. Nice refreshing.
And as you can tell from that music, and of course people can talk about the music if they'd like, but this is where we get to give our final words as we get down to the last 5 minutes of the show. And like Clint always likes to say, is ladies first. So I'm going to come to you, Katie. And Katie, what are your final words to our audience?
I just want to say thank you for taking your time to watch, and those who have been there since day one. We really, really appreciate it so much. And thank you. Sorry, girl, for looking at the video. I know it was a little hard to understand, but hopefully Paul say the subtitles are there. Y para la gente que está mirando de otro lado, que quédense, no te muevas porque voy a mandar otra video latino para ti.
All right, there we go. So now, Clint, what are your final words to our audience?
But what I would like to say, first of all, thank you guys for having us in your home, for keeping us there, being our audience, supporting us. And what I would like to advise you guys out there, people, be very careful with your inner circle. Be very careful with people who said that they are your friend. Be careful with people who say they love you. Be careful with people who say they support you. Because not everyone who say they love you, support you, or are there for you, are there for you. You shall know your friends by their fruits. Have a blessed day.
And I just want to say, Clint, my friend, I am always here for you, man. And you know that. I support you. You know that. And you are a star. And if anyone says anything different, have them come talk to me. And as always, when we come to our, because I got proof, I can show them. I can show them that they're wrong. And that you're a star, like Prince would say, and you need to listen to Prince. I'm still gonna keep harping on that, Clint. Baby, you're a star! So, the next time on the Clint Initiative podcast, I'm going to give a preview of our Patreon showcase, where I showcase the photography of Barnes Photography. I'm a photographer. Have been one for decades, and I'm going to get to show my work. Our next co-host will Jamel's Jam makes its return next week. And then, of course, after Jamel's Jam, the following week, that's when we have another Clint's Trinidad takeover. Now, time and opportunity is not always on our side, but we do have an opportunity now to make everything happen. And there we go. Nice show, guys, from Shy Girl.
Thank you.
We have an opportunity now to make things happen, and we have millions of people potentially watching. So this is the time. Now that I've written my 50 jokes, it's time for me to do my stand-up. And I'm going to make that a reality show for the Clint Initiative podcast. I'm going to make that a reality show as I'm practicing my jokes now. I got 50, so I think I should be good, but I'll find out once I go out there. And so we are going to be having our first reality show in addition to our co-host showcase. And Jolanta says, Clint is a star. He was trained under my great uncle.
That is big up to the late Freddie Kissoon. He was a theater, drama coach, playwright from Trinidad. He passed away. He was an icon from Trinidad and Tobago.
And Shy Girl says, nice show, guys. And I got to tell you, it's been a great show for me. And I hope it's been a great show for you. And like a great person once said, I want to thank you for making your time and my time, our time. And just have a great and beautiful rest of your day. Peace!